Howdy, Mark and Grace Driscoll here with the XO Real Marriage Special Holiday Edition podcast. This one's going out right after Thanksgiving on
Black Friday, shopping day.
On or around Black Friday. Happy shopping day. Do people still go to stores anymore? Is that a thing?
I don't know if they will this year.
So one of the things that can happen for a married couple, especially after Thanksgiving, because usually most people, you're kind of busy heading up to Thanksgiving. And then as soon as Thanksgiving hits, you start thinking about Christmas, holidays, gift buying, gift giving, spending. And if there's not a really agreed upon plan
or a budget,
there can be, and it's funny we say that because we don't, yeah. So we don't fight about money because we don't have a budget. So there's really nothing to fight about. So what we have seen, though, is that for a lot of couples, the gift giving can become a real point of division. The budget can get ratcheted up, and then who gets on the gift receiving list?
Yes.
And then there's always we didn't buy them a gift, they bought us a gift. Now we got to go
buy them a
gift, which usually means somebody gave us a gift and we're going to re-gift it and just try and even this thing out. So what would your recommendation be for those couples that are looking at their Christmas list, their shopping, their gift giving? How can they, in agreement, in advance, help avoid some of the pain? Because a lot of us, we just rack up credit card debt and you're both doing it, and then you don't know what kind of position you're in until after the holidays, and then it's a bit of a catastrophe.
Yeah, I mean, I think talking about it again is super important because there's expectations that aren't always mentioned, but they're there.
Like what?
Well, I think for me, I expected to buy all the Christmas gifts for all the kids and all the people that we were, buying for, and my list was probably a little longer than yours would have been. And so I just expected to be able to go and do that without having to discuss it. But you had insights into what type of gift, or some people that maybe weren't best to give to this year for whatever reasons, whether it's budget reasons or whatever, relational reasons. And so I needed to be able to have feedback before I just went out and spent money on gifts for people.
And some of that is shared bank account. Like if you've got 2 bank accounts and 2 credit cards and you don't know what the other is doing, I promise you that's going to be a rollover car wreck eventually.
Yeah, people like to hide in those scenarios and kind of keep secrets.
Yeah, secret bank accounts, secret credit cards. Don't tell your mother, don't tell your father. And so ours is, if you're going to be one, that includes full disclosure, walk in the light, as he is in the light. What that means is just it's all out there. Here's what we're spending. Here's where it's at. Set a budget. You need to agree on a list of who are we going to buy for? And then even a list of okay, if we're going to get some big gifts, who do we do that for? If we're going to do some smaller gifts, who do we do that for? And in addition, if you have kids, it's including, guys, who would you like to get gifts for? Because sometimes when your kids are little, you want to encourage them to be generous.
Yes.
They say, for my teacher, for my friend, or so-and-so, or such and such.
We like to participate in Giving Tree or other holiday special giving opportunities with the kids, whether sometimes even for single moms.
So explain that real quick, sweetie, not to interrupt you, but pretty much every year since the kids were little, this is more your heart. I mean, I'm for it. But you would pick a single mom or two with the kids, and then you would meet with the kids and you would think through, what can we do to bless this family? So maybe give them an example of what that looks like.
Yeah, so they each get to pick out gifts for the kids of that single mom, and then we purchase something for the mom as well. And then we deliver that either together as a family, or sometimes we even get a list from the mom of actual needs that they have. It's super fun the kids get excited about it, because it's more blessed to give than to receive. And I want my kids to experience what that actually means. And so we encourage them to do that by taking them on the adventure with us to shop, to buy the stuff, to deliver it. We do that all throughout the year for different, with backpacks and different holidays. We like to bless, Mother's Day, that sort of thing. And so I want my kids to be generous and to be givers. And even if you don't have a lot of resources, even if they're, drawing a picture for a card because you don't have funds to do big stuff, it's still appreciated by people. It still says we are thinking about you, we care about you, we love you. And so even if the kids are able to participate in,
Could be homemade baked goods,
Yep.
could be less expensive
if
gifts.
they're artistic, maybe something cute and put it in a little frame, or
And you always like to put in there grocery gift cards, gas gift cards, certain real practical
Practical.
stuff, especially for the single moms through the
Yeah.
course of the year.
yeah.
And I really appreciate that. I just want to honor you with that. Our kids always look forward to that. And it was a highlight of the year for them. So it got to the point every year, whether it was a single mom or single moms, that you and the kids, we'd all be praying, but then they would say, well, what about so-and-so? And what about
Yeah.
so-and-so? And, you know, they need this and they need that. And we wanted our kids during the holiday season, not just to have their list of here's all the stuff that I want, but to be seeing that there are other people
Yes.
that have needs, to be aware and conscious of those needs, and then
To look for
to
them.
be looking for them, and then to be taking active steps toward meeting those
Yeah.
needs.
Yeah.
And that became one of the great traditions of the holiday season. Was all of a sudden our kids would realize, like, I don't need that, they do.
Yes.
And I want our kids to give and receive. And this is part of Christian sort of discipleship. If you only give, you're too proud to receive. You don't have humility to receive. If you only receive, you're too selfish to give. And so it really is learning to give and receive that really is part of what we do for each other and for our kids to disciple them in the Lord. Anything in closing for those who are starting their Christmas shopping? What about those who, I'll give you one that comes to mind. What about those who, the husband waits until the last minute to sort of just run out and grab a few things to just sort of meet the minimal requirements that he had something to give his wife or kids?
It's probably better not to even do that because it's more insulting that you didn't care and are just buying a random thing that was left on the shelf than to maybe even write a card or something for your wife that would be memorable, that would have meaning to it from your heart, than just something that you spent a few dollars on that she won't even use. So I would encourage you to not do that. But I would also encourage you to plan so that women are always talking about things they want throughout the year. And if you're attentive as a husband, you can listen for those things and maybe purchase it in advance and maybe be looking for something that's really special that she would like, that from you would be even more special than from anyone else. And so be listening for those cues as well.
So maybe during the year you're at the store and the wife is like, oh boy, I love that. Make a mental note. I'm going to go back and get that. You're at the antique store and she's like, oh my gosh, this would look so great in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Make a mental note and go back. And so sometimes it's less about the amount that is spent and more about the amount of intentionality
That's right.
that was behind it, realizing that you were paying attention to the needs of the person you love.
Yeah.
Well, have fun making your list, making your budget, stick to it. God bless you, good luck, and we'll see you for the next episode.